Metaphysical Bible Dictionary, creative or creation is described as man's divine ideal. So when we know ourselves as perfect offspring of the divine mind, we express perfection. However, when we hold thoughts of ourselves as sinful and the universe as imperfect, we express those untrue ideas into manifestation in all the discord that surrounds us. Creative is characterized by our productivity of new things or new ideas. Remember, what you hold in mind is what you manifest in the outer. Garbage in produces the garbage we reflect in the outer. We are divine essence, creative energy. We were made. If, however, we see in our world production that is not to our liking, we deny these by blaming others in innocent disclaim. In Wayne Dyer's book, I Can See Clearly Now, we read, use your imagination as the inner blueprint for what you're called to manifest. Then act as if that current dream is a present fact. Declare every day, I am peace, beauty, I am God. Declare, as Wayne Dyer advised, the name of God as your affirmation for creating the life you desire, for becoming the person you intend to be in your affirmation. Discard any other option that diminishes or tarnishes your intentions. Be firm in your affirmation. I know that the state of the world with all manners of conflict may interfere or distract you from your purpose, but you can always return to your positive task and reconnect to your source until it becomes a primary source of peace and happiness. Be the lovely creative power you are meant to be. Don't believe the hype. Okay, I have a tendency to lower my head, and I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Okay. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. I do what I do every time I get up here. Do you realize that? I go off task and do whatever At any rate, I have to invite the person that is going to read our daily word, which is creative. And Sarah Foley is the one who will be reading today. Sorry.
Good morning. So the word is creative, and we're being creative this morning. Okay, so it's all good. It's all good. It's Sunday, October 27th. The word is creative. The creative energy of spirit expresses through me. Stunning visual arts, inspirational music, a brilliant performance. These are all lovely examples of creativity, but they are by no means the only ones. Creativity is the very nature of life. From the most soaring, soul-inspiring instance to that mundane moment that fills daily life. Creative acts abound. Creative activities are prayers in action, a continuation of divine activity in its infinite manifestations. Living is a creative act. It's the way I am in the world, the way I love, the way I relate to all others. Understanding it is in this way I see how I am using my thoughts, feelings, and imagination to create my experiences. I bring my divine gift to life through my creativity. From Genesis 1:26. Then God said, "Let us make humankind in our image, according to our likeness, and let them have dominion." Enjoy your day.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to blame my order. Okay. I have to put this one in order because it's all in this order. To continue. Let me continue to enjoy. Thank you, Sarah. Let me continue to enjoy, follow guidance, and recognize all that I must do. In grateful expression for that which I am called to do. Let me be love in expression, humorous in my presentation, which I am all the time, and accepting of all tasks that I'm assigned to perform. Let me recognize and appreciate all the miracles in my life and be in awe of all of the abundance, kindness, and beauty I possess, and you possess too, in this physical world. I think I had asked you to get up and let us affirm. There is sunshine in my soul. No, that is, what am I? Oh. Let us affirm. The creative energy of spirit expresses through me. And let's repeat again. The creative energy of spirit expresses through me. And I have to continue because I just did something that I wasn't supposed to. At least it's different from what everybody else does, right? Okay. Okay, here we go. Be the lovely creative, I will continue. Be the lovely creative power that you're meant to be. Don't believe the hype that you are a lesser being. Know that you were created in the image and likeness of God. And as created and creation of the divine, you are capable of miracles, not only in your life, but in the lives of others. Don't get it twisted and laugh at the naysayer. Know that those negative phrases and thoughts are condemning those spewing nonsense. Live above and don't succumb to all news, all memories, which attempt to drown your peace, light, and happiness. You are greater than that. You may not be able to change other people's view of you, but you can certainly adhere to the positive image of you and act accordingly. And that pertains to me too, because people may view me in a way and do another. Nothing is ordinary. Everything is everything is a miracle and extraordinary. I know that this method may not hold true immediately. It does take time because you always are battling your own thoughts. Know that deep down, you are greater than the sum of your parts. You are a divine creation, brilliant, joyous, loving, forgiving, compassionate, beautiful. Persist daily. Rome was not made in a day, but surely, with positive intention, you will experience the tranquility of knowing your divine inheritance. You deserve peace and are entitled through this physical journey to create daily what you desire. Claim these states. I am alert, hopefully, loving, happy, and wise. Every moment is sacred, and as such, treat each day as if it is your last. Now is all you have on this physical plane. But remember, you are an infinite spirit, forevermore created. Listen to your divine guidance, not the critical murmuring of the busy mind. And I'm going to ask you to affirm again, out of order. Let us affirm the creative energy of spirit expressed through me. Again, the creative energy of spirit expresses through me. Remain seated and let us sing hymn number 26. Hymn number 26. Praise to thee, O great Creator. And now, as the lights are dimming, let us relax and release all feelings of tension. Slowly breathe in and out, releasing all concerns. And let us think about this. I am a divine spirit traveling through this physical earth, learning, loving, sharing the goodness that we are. In peace, I claim my happiness to be jubilant, to be accepting, compassionate, and faith-filled. God within allows me to be an open expression that enjoys nature, good friends, good food, and the ability to bless and share all that surrounds me. Let us continue to enjoy, follow guidance, and recognize all that I must and we must do in grateful expression for that which I am called to do, and you are called to do too. Let me be loving expression, humorous in my presentation, and accepting of all tasks that I am assigned to perform. Let me recognize and appreciate all the miracles in my life and be in awe of all the abundance, kindness, and beauty that I possess in this physical world. And now, wake up. Let us all stand and sing hymn number 21. Hymn number 21. There is sunshine in my soul today. There is sunshine in my soul today. It is glorious and bright, ever glowing with a warming rain. For Jesus is my light. Oh, this sunshine, blessed sunshine, as the peaceful, happy moments roll. For I behold the Christ in every face, and the sunshine in my soul. There is sweet time in my soul today. I know the Lord is near. For the notes of peace sing in my heart. The joys of grace appear. Oh, there's sunshine, blessed sunshine, as the peaceful, happy moments roll. For I behold the Christ in every face, and there's sunshine in my soul. There is gladness in my soul today, and hope and love and praise. For blessings which he gives me now are brightening all my days. Oh, the sunshine, blessed sunshine, as the peaceful, happy moments roll. For I behold the Christ in every face, and there's sunshine in my soul. Remain standing and claim, read one another and claim, I am created in the image and likeness of God. I am created in the image and likeness of God. I am created in the image and likeness. We were created in the image and likeness of God. Now let me get my stuff together. Welcome, Reverend Charles. I'm looking for my folder.
Great morning. Next Sunday, come on down. It is a great day. It's a great day to be here in church, where we come together in one heart, one mind, one power, one presence. We come here to get restored, renewed, so that we know God is and I am. We even have Tristan here with his beautiful haircut. Hi, Tristan. Say hi to everybody. Okay. We'll see you later, okay? Sunday school, buddy. Maybe in a little while. So great morning to everyone on Zoom. Thank you for joining us. It's a beautiful day. So just take that in. It's a beautiful day. As I put on my emails every Saturday, it's a beautiful day in my consciousness. Because thoughts held in mind create acts of like kind. And as Cruz reminded us, garbage in, garbage out. But it's our choice what we want to hold within. Do we want to hold all the outer garbage? Or do we want to hold the truth that sets us free from all those thoughts of lack, limitation, sickness, and death? Do we want to really, really live in peace? Can I get a yes? Yes. I want to live in peace. I want to live in love. I want to be the best Christ I was born to be. Because I was born in the image and likeness of God. Amen. So let us just close our eyes and open our hearts and our minds as we sing out the truth, the Lord's Prayer. God gives us all things, and all things are good. For God is love, joy, and peace. God is life, wisdom, and understanding. And all that God is, I am. For I am love, joy, and peace. For I am made in the image and likeness of God. I am the eternal child of God, whole, perfect, and complete in every way. I can never be separate or apart from God's perfect love. For joy is my inheritance. Peace is my nature. And love is mine to express. For it is in giving that we receive. And I give love to myself deeply and completely, knowing that our Father, Mother God loved us, loves us, today, tomorrow, and always, deeply and completely. For we are one in perfect love. And as I express love, I receive love. And as I receive love, I am filled with joy to overflowing. For now I know that God is and I am, and all is well. And my mind and heart are at peace. Because God is peace. There is no resistance. There is only the absolute assurance that God is and I am, and all is well. So take a time, a moment, to embrace the silence. For in the silence, there is a meeting place, and love is there. And as our prayer chest comes forward, let us be the blessing unto all our prayers. Let us be a blessing unto this world. For the power of God is everywhere present in this world. And we now know it and feel it and express it in every thought, word, feeling, and action. So we bless those in our prayer chest, knowing that they are restored to wholeness. Just say the word, and I am made whole. And the word goes forth through the peace of God to touch and renew every heart, every mind, to restore wholeness and oneness with God. So our prayers and our thoughts, one with God, go out to every living soul in the here and now. And we are grateful that we have been given the power and the willingness to say yes to God and to all that God is. I am, we are, and all is well. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Thank you, Paul. So fall is upon us finally. And next week we fall back, right? Yes. So you can't be late. You can only be early, yes? So thank you for joining us, coming together in one heart. And our lesson this morning is entitled Image and Likeness. And it comes from the Daily Word, actually. It comes from Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. For the Bible scripture says, "Let us make humankind in our image, according to our likeness, and let them have dominion over all things." And what words reaches out to me when I read this is not so much the image and likeness, but is the dominion. We have dominion over all things. When you hear that word dominion, what do you think about for yourself? In the world, in the outer, we often think about dominion where people might have control over us. But we live in a nation that it's governed, self-governed by the people. And in a couple weeks, we get to choose who will govern us. One for the people or one for the people. All people. But I'm not here to talk about governing. I'm here to talk about dominion over oneself. We have to have dominion over our own thoughts and feelings in order to have an awareness of our wholeness and our oneness with God. For the revealing word describes dominion as supreme authority or sovereignty, a perfect child of God. Man is born in complete dominion over all creation. And dominion is an inner consciousness obtained only through mind discipline. The supreme authority comes as man realizes his oneness with his Father. And dominion urges us to exercise that power, the power that we have the right to have dominion over all things, all thoughts and feelings that we hold on to. And we hold on to these when we're in control of what we think about, what we worry about. We're actually out of control because we worry about everything in the outer when we're supposed to be in peace and oneness with all that God is. So when we have dominion, we have a responsibility, a willingness to let go. That is our rightful choice, our free will to let go of all the thoughts in the outer, that we've been conditioned to believe ever since the beginning of time. We've been conditioned to believe that the love we get is the love we receive from our parents. But Jesus says, call no one your father, but God in heaven, which created everything. And you notice in the creation story in Genesis, God created everything before he created man and woman in the likeness and image of himself. And I shouldn't even use the word himself. But he gave us everything that we needed. The earth, the water, the soil, the sun, the moon, the stars, all the seeds and plants that we needed to eat and flourish with. And all we needed to do was to have dominion over our, not the world, but over our thoughts. And to surrender all our thoughts so we can be at one with God. But we think having dominion is getting more money, reaping a harvest that pays us above and beyond what we expected. Or maybe stripping the land of all its natural resources. We have dominion over everything and killing animals left and right. Killing each other left and right. We have dominion. But that's not what we're talking about today. We're made and we have been given everything in the image and likeness of God. Love, joy, and peace. And that is what we have been given dominion over. For we are the perfect image in the mind of God. And when you think of those, an idea so perfect never leaves that mind. Your thoughts never leave your mind. Everything that we bring in never leaves our mind. And we use everything that we bring in to look out in the outer. When God is telling us to let all of that go. Let nothing enter your heart. Guard your heart with all your might and all your soul. Let nothing in the outer disturb the calm peace of your heart. Because you and I were made in the image and likeness of God. And we have the power to go home to that presence and power of God within us every moment of the day. You and I have the power to let go. And we have that power because we've never left home. Home is always within us. The love and joy and peace is always within us. It's like the story of Peter Pan, the fairy tale story that we were told as kids, that if we grow up and become adults, then we will leave that wonderful place called Never Never Land. And when we leave that place, we have to do battle with evil forces like Captain Hook, our subconscious mind, our ego mind, that we have to do battle with it. And we can't live like an innocent child anymore with the little, what's the fairy tale? The little Tinkerbell. We can't fly about like Tinkerbell and Peter Pan and be joyful. But we must do battle with a thing called evil, Captain Hook. And that's the farthest thing from the truth. We're not asked to do battle. We're asked to surrender and to let God be God in us. There's only one thing that we're asked to do, and that is to love each other. to love God with all your heart and all your might and all your soul, and to love yourself and each other equally. Not to do battle, but to pray for those that persecute us and do wrong to us. Because in truth, they cannot do anything wrong to us. They cannot hurt that calm peace in our heart. It's impossible. It's just like the story of the Wizard of Oz, right? She thought she left home and she had this vivid dream that now is in Technicolor. But she had this dream of being separate and apart from her home until the little fairy, another fairy, told her, you never left home. Just click your heels and say, there's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like God. There's no place like the God of my being within my heart. But instead of clicking our heels, we like to prophesize what we think. We self-determination, we self-prophesize what we think will happen with all our fears and worries. The stock market's going to do this. When the election happens, there's going to be a war, or there's going to be this or that. And we're just projecting into the outer all our fears instead of projecting into the outer all our love and all the wisdom that comes with that. And using our imagination, that power of imagination that was given to us by God, the divine power of imagination, that we could image all the love that we have in the outer, because wherever we are, that love is present, and we can express it to each and every person that we meet, because that person is either expressing love or they're asking for love. And it is ours to give in abundance. There's so many people out there asking for love, and we can just image ourselves as being whole, perfect, and complete. We don't have to fix anyone. We just have to be the presence of love. That one person, what was his name? Goldsmith. He didn't pray to fix anybody. He just prayed to know and connect with the Spirit of God. And then the fixing happened naturally. He never prayed for health or wholeness. He just prayed that he could have that connection, the divine connection with God. We don't have to pray for each other. We have to pray for that connection and communion with God. And then we know that God is at work in our life. And each and every one that we hold in our heart is whole, perfect, and complete already. So you don't need to pray for others in the way that we do, where we ask for this and that. What we need to do is pray to affirm our wholeness and oneness with God. Friday, Thursday and Friday, Sarah's uncle passed away a couple weeks ago, Uncle Les. And we had the memorial at the funeral home on Thursday, and then we had the burial, the service at church and the burial on Friday. And the minister was very good. He was facing facts. He said, we're all going to die. There's no ifs, ands, or buts there. We're all going to die. And I could see that he was trying to give Uncle Les's wife of 67 years some hope, because she was in despair. She was without her husband after 67 years. Can you imagine? And he was trying to give her heart hope. Just like it says in the scripture, in the night you'll mourn, and in the morning you'll have hope. But the words that we sung and the things that we said in some of the hymnals were all talking about a heaven out there. We were singing this song called When We All Get to Heaven. You know the song? And everybody was rocking and clapping. When we all get to heaven, what a day of rejoicing that will be. When we all see Jesus, we will sing and shout victory. And we sung it over and over again. When we all get to heaven. And I leaned over. Ian was sitting next to me. I whispered to Ian, I said, heaven is in the here and now. It's not when we get to heaven. Heaven is in the here and now. It's like Eckhart Tolle. He talks about the now over and over again. And the power in the silence. It's not in talking. It's in the silence that we come to know that God is and we are. So, yes, it was great that we were giving hope to each other, but we were covering up that hope with something in the future. For the keys to the kingdom have been given to us, and the kingdom is in the here and now. And we have to remember that, and we have to be willing and able to surrender. But more often than not, we choose resistance. We choose to battle Captain Hook with all our might. Captain Hook with the large sword, and little Peter Pan with the little sword. But he has special powers, so he can battle with them. But we have special powers that are greater than all of that. And that's the power of love, joy, and peace. You see, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And in the stillness, when we enter that sacred silence, that's where we receive the Word of God. So when something confronts us in life, we have to take a moment of silence and embrace what is the truth that is coming in and through us, our true voice, a voice of love. And it only comes to us in the silence. That's why Bridget had such a aha moment when she spent 10 days in the silence. Because she could see the light and joy of everything. And she was worried when she left that retreat that everything else would come flooding back in. And I'm sure it did. Because now she has to deal with the things in the outer. But if we take time for silence before we start the day, as we go through the day, then we will know what to do, when to do, what needs to be done in perfect time, in God's time. And we don't need to fix anybody, but we need to bless them with our perfect, unconditional love. Not in some things, but in all things. Can I get an amen? Amen. Amen. So the light has never left us. And the love has never left us. The joy and peace have never left us. We just have to be willing to let go. And what we're letting go is all our judgments of right and wrong, good and evil. And we know that we judge everything when we look out into this world. A judgment comes instantaneously. It's the way our mind works. And we have to let it go like clouds in the sky and be open and receptive to the silence. And you know that's the law of mind action, and we know how it works, and we have to use it to God's good. If you just think in your mind that it's dark, your pupils will dilate, if that's the proper word. They'll restrict. And if you think in your mind it's sunny, then they'll do what they do. If I put an ice cube in your hand, your body's going to think it's cold. Because we've been conditioned by all the things in the outer. And Jesus said, I'm in this world, but I'm not of this world. And everything that he did, we can do, and even greater. When we're willing to surrender and to let God be God in and through and as us. Because you, I, and all of us, everyone in this world, was made in the image and likeness of God. And so it is. Amen. Amen. And we'll affirm the truth by now singing, He's got the whole world. Which is almost the truth, because there's a separation in that. We have the whole world in our hands. Because we are one. Yes? But let us open to hymn number 314. He's got the whole world in his hands. 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 He's got you and me, brother, in his hands. He got you and me, sister, in his hands. He's got you and me, brother, in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the souls and the body in his hand. He's got the soul and the body in his hands. He's got the soul and the body in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the mamas and the papas in his hands. He's got the cats and the dogs in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. Amen. So where is heaven? Right here. Thank you, God. And as our ushers come forward, let us affirm the truth that abundance is ours. As we affirm divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. I think I'm doing the announcements. Anybody coming forward? Linda's with her family. Robert's not here. So I'll do the announcements. How about that? So as always, we're collecting food for the Mary Brenner Inn, and we're collecting glasses for the Lions Club at the LIJ, Valley Stream. And there's quite a few glasses in there again. But Thanksgiving is upon us shortly, so if you want to donate some Thanksgiving foods for the inn, you probably can go to their website and see what's the usual, yams and cranberry and whatever, stuffing, not too much stuffing. But the bin is inside, and please feel free to give. Our annual gala is coming in a blink. It's next Sunday, right? So the tickets are going faster than fast. And if you haven't bought a ticket and you're waiting for next Sunday, please see Sarah after the service, and we'll be blessed with your presence next Sunday. It's going to be a great gala. All the Chinese auction items have been decorated, and we have some really nice Chinese auction items this year. One might be very good in your living room if you're so lucky. And then October 24th at 11 a.m., Saturday. Oop, I didn't change the thing here. I said Thursday, but it's Saturday. Do I have the right one here? I don't. This is the old one. This is the new one. No, this is old too. Anyway. Here's one. Dang it, this one's right. Saturday, November 23rd at 10 a.m. We're going on to the next Emily Cady book, God, a Present Help. And we're going to read chapter 1, Good Tidings of Great Joy. Not jot, but joy. So I invite you to join us on that Saturday. And I thank everyone who came out yesterday. And we had a great reading of the last chapter of How I Use Truth, which was oneness with God. And if you weren't there, then I encourage you to read that chapter because it's rich, very rich. And it's all about what we talked about today, about image and likeness and oneness with God. And then the Toastmasters, they come to Unity House every first and third Tuesday of the month. And for those who don't know what Toastmasters is about, it's about public speaking. But it's more than that. It's giving you the courage and wisdom to speak from your heart and to make you a better spokesperson for the truth. Because you won't hesitate to tell the truth because you'll have that confidence which comes with practice, which is our fifth principle, right? Practice, practice, practice. So it's a very loving group at Unity House, and I encourage you to join them, so that you can speak the truth with confidence. And then we always could use some help in our book room, daily help, daily word readers, fellowship, you name it. So as they say, if you use it, then as you give, you get it back. So we encourage you to do something to give in this church so that we may serve the Lord with gladness. And then the other announcement is that I'd like to share that Joan's sister passed away Thursday night. So we bless her sister, Joan Shears. Her sister, Cynthia Lane, passed Saturday night. And we bless Joan and her family. And we behold the light and love of God within her, her family, and her sister. And we know that the truth is the kingdom is here now. And that hurt, that sense of loss that she's having is just a material sense of loss. The truth is that loss is a feeling of a loss of love, which we can never do. For the love of God, the love of her sister, the love of all our dear ones is always with us, no matter where we are. So we bless Joan, and we also bless Norris because he had a successful heart operation on Friday, and he's doing well. So we see him back here with the ushers, dancing down the, walking down, walking down the aisle. And also, one little trivia. When we go to fellowship, you might notice we're using a bunch of styrofoam plates. And that's not very ecological minded, but we were gifted a whole bunch of styrofoam plates from a restaurant supply store that went out of business. So instead of throwing them in the garbage, we'll use them, then we'll put them in the garbage and get the blessing of having the use of them. And then in a year's time, when they're all gone, we can start buying paper goods. Oy. A whole year. We have a lot. Go in the garage. The guy called Sarah and I, called me while we were in Punta Cana. He said, "Do you want that stuff?" I said, "Yeah, sure." And when we came back, our gazebo, which is probably 10 by 20, was filled with stuff. Sarah was not too happy with me. So as they say, be careful what you pray for. So now, with that done, all our announcements done, let us stand up and bless our love offerings. Freely, freely I have received. Freely, freely I give. Divine love through me blesses all that I have, all that I give and receive. And to you, the giver, we say thank you for your time, your talents, and your treasures. But most of all, we say thank you, God, for we know all good gifts come from Father, Mother, God. And we are blessed beyond blessed, and we are grateful in all things. We say thank you, thank you, thank you. In Jesus' name, amen. Now let us join hands as we sing the peace song. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as our Father. Brothers all are meet. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow. Take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let us affirm the truth of our being. The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. And presence of God watches over us, for I am presence. For wherever we are, God is, and all is well. For I am divine, and I am made in the image and likeness of the divine. And all that is asked for us is to give love and get love. So you can give a hug, get a hug, and be the love you were born to be. You want to